yards upfield. Last year, Tyrod Taylor passed for just under 2,800 yards. Very okay. That's not good. It's not 3,000 yards, but 14 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. That's a good ratio for him. Is he going to be the starting quarterback? We don't know in Cleveland. So Jarvis Landry, he's probably he's at least top 3 wide receiver, top 5 wide receiver in fantasy this year. But if
he's a wide receiver too, he's a wide receiver too.
If Antonio Brown's gone and if DeAndre Hopkins is gone, I wouldn't draft him third.
No,
off the list.
No. And I think right now he's being ranked around 20th or so according to most ranking systems. But the thing is say Josh Gordon doesn't play, all of a sudden he is maybe the number 1 target. So I'm not buying stock in any of these Cleveland guys until I see what they do.
Right, it's really scary. It's risky.
Yeah, but unlike Cleveland, it's the opposite situation going to our next guy, Nelson Aguilar. He is on a great team that has a great offense. And this is a guy who last year was fantasy football wide receiver number 24, so a legitimate wide receiver 2 on your roster. But right now he's being drafted 45th. And the thing I don't understand is nothing has changed on this team. If anything, Alshon Jeffrey is questionable right now to return. Carson Wentz steps back into the fold. Zach Ertz is still there. They didn't add really any weapons. The running backs are still the same except minus LeGarrette Blount. Why would you expect him to regress 20 spots? I mean, the touchdowns were a little fluky last year. I think he had 8.
He had 8 touchdowns.
But at the same time, that offense gets a bunch of touchdowns. Alshon Jeffrey had 10. I think Ertz had 10. So it's not like he vultured touchdowns from those guys. He didn't. So I'm all in on Nelson.
I don't know what is going on with the Eagles quarterback situation because Nick Foles is hurt now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's having issues, and obviously Carson Wentz isn't back yet. He's not healthy yet. So
it's interesting.
That scares me a little bit. But yeah, Nelson Aguilar, good wide receiver 3, really good wide receiver 3, maybe a low wide receiver 2.
I agree. I'm with you on there.
Another guy that's a good wide receiver 2, Marvin Jones.
Underrated.
Right? Underrated because in Detroit, they throw the ball 50 times a game.
Exactly.
Stafford airs it out. So he's going to get targets. He's only had 61 receptions last year, which is 39th in the league, but he was 9th in yards, 1,101 yards.
He led the league in yards per reception, I think, at 17. So
unbelievable.
Elite playmaker.
Yeah, so when they're hitting him, he's going deep. And he's getting yards. He's making big plays. He scored 9 touchdowns last year, and Detroit's not that good.
And people forget his second year in Cincinnati, he scored 10 touchdowns on only 50 receptions. So this is a guy, you look at his stats and you say, those touchdowns are fluky. Well, no, look at his history. Yeah. They're not fluky. He's a big play guy. He makes people miss. And as you mentioned, Detroit has always had elite wide receivers. Think back to Calvin Johnson. You had all the Williams back in the day. Detroit has always thrown the ball. Golden Tate's a great possession receiver, but he's not a game breaker.
Right.
Eric Ebron did that in parts, but he's gone to Indianapolis. Marvin Jones had that role last year, did it very well, and he's going to repeat it, and he's not being drafted. So be comfortable having him be a high upside wide receiver 2, could even be a wide receiver 1 if it shakes out correctly. And he's a guy that you look at his name and you go, maybe I'd rather have that Juju guy. Maybe I'd have that wide receiver 1 on that bad team. No. Take this guy because he's very good.
Yeah, again, doesn't play on a good team, but he's going to put up big numbers. Again, 1,100 receiving yards last year. Unbelievable.
And lastly, you like the Colts wide receivers a little bit.
Yeah, so T.Y. Hilton, 109 targets, which put him 25th in the league. Pretty high. That's good. I mean, T.Y.'s a great receiver. People love him.
And this is without Luck last year,
that
too.
was
they had
Luck.
Scott Tolzien. They had everyone and your mom throwing the pigskin.
Yeah, it was a yard sale out there in Indianapolis. But then Jack Doyle. Jack Doyle, 108 receptions. Finished right behind T.Y. Hilton. The tight end Doyle, in his rookie season last year, I believe he was a rookie, he's going to get the ball. And this is what I'm saying here. So T.Y. Hilton, big name, but then right behind him is Doyle with just 1 reception less.
Did you say Jake or Jack?
Jack.
Yes, Jack.
Yeah,
okay.
Jack Doyle.
Yep, Jack Doyle.
Bad podcasting, right? No,
sorry, no.
We got it right.
No, that's why.
I'm rattled right now. But I'm just saying that you look at a name like T.Y. Hilton, and he's got all this glory on fantasy, but then right behind him, Doyle is that much more important in the offense. He's that inclusive.
And so I spoke wrongly. We don't like the Colts wide receivers, but we like Hilton and Doyle because the next 2 guys on their depth chart are Chester Rogers, who I'm familiar with, but he's not exceptional. He's a former guy from Pittsburgh. And then KJ Brent. No idea who that is. So you kind of got to feed the beasts. It's going to be Doyle and T.Y. T.Y.'s going to rack up the targets. He's going to rack up the yards. He led the league in yards, I believe, 2 or 3 seasons ago. He had 1,400. He's a game breaker. Doyle, a big dude, a red zone threat. I'm not scared of Ebron whatsoever because Doyle's been there. He's going to be 28. That's why it seemed like he was a rookie 2 years ago, but he just was sitting on the bench for his first 4 years of his career.
That's fine.
Trust those guys. Again, but if Andrew Luck's healthy, that offense all of a sudden elevates a bunch. And in fantasy, they aren't being ranked that way yet. That's the thing is Marlon Mack is going 35th overall at running back, and he's an RB1 and potentially a good offense. So as you're looking at these rankings, as we've talked about, wins and losses don't matter in fantasy. It's all about production. But at the same time, good teams that score points, you're going to get more production from those players as opposed to a good player on a bad team. That's when you maybe just want to take there might be only one player or 0 players from that offense that you want to be a part of.
No, sometimes you just can't do that, but that's those are our guys.
All right. Should we go over
overappreciated?
Shelton's going to be here in I think 4 minutes, but let's talk about PGA quick, yeah?
Yeah.
So, Bellevue, the championship, starting right now. Bellerive, thank you. Starting right now.
French word.
JT and DJ, the favorites, along with Rory. I think DJ is 9-1, JT and Rory are 12-1, and then Spieth is 20-1. I want to rattle off the list of former champions quick.
Not all 100.
No.
We don't have enough time for all 100.
2017 JT, and then going down the list, Jimmy Walker, Jason Day, Rory McIlroy, Jason Duffner, Rory McIlroy, Keegan, Martin Keimer. All those guys are really good golfers. So it's a championship where good golfers win. There's no flukes at this championship.
No, and they say it's one of the most competitive fields, if not the toughest field in golf, because the qualifications to win, you have to win big tournaments or come in the top 15 of last year's PGA Championship. But you can't get into this tournament unless you're an elite golfer. That's the thing. Or, it is the PGA Championship, so they have not tour pros, but head club pros. They have their championship, the professional championship. The top 20 from that championship get exempt into the PGA Championship. So it's a really competitive field. You got to go with a big hitter on this. And, I think JT's going back to back.
And Tiger,
just like Brooks did.
Again, guys, Tiger was in the lead at the British for 45 minutes. There's a chance Guy Woods can win. So you got to tune in. You have to watch.
It's the last major of the year.
It is the last major of the year.
Golf is... we got the Ryder Cup this year. Coming. It's in France this year. USA trying to go back to back for the first time since ever.
20, I think it's been 30 years since we did that. God, it was so rough. And we've always had better teams in Europe too, typically. But they were just spanking us everywhere.
Yeah,
but now we showed them what's good in Minnesota. Hazeltine National, exceptional event. We were there. I was there. Did you get there?
No, because I finished my junior golf tour.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that was a pain.
It was the No.
Who's your guy? Pick a guy.
Oh, JT.
You're going JT.
JT. Yeah.
I'm going Spieth.
He's a favorite, but yes, Spieth needs a major this year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think he doesn't want to go majorless in 2018. I think he's going to push for it. So we'll see what they can do. That's golf. Cool.
Yeah, currently JT is -3 as we tape this podcast. He's in the lead.
Hopefully Spieth can turn around. Well, at this point, we'll throw it to our conversation with actor and friend Luke Shelton. Enjoy. And now we welcome onto the flow our first acting guest, IMDb certified, former Holy Angels star like myself, Rick. Sorry, you're a Chicago, Illinois Charger. Luke Shelton, what's up, buddy? Good to have you here.
Dude, thanks for having me. This is awesome. This is my first podcast.
First podcast?
Wow.
Yeah.
He's been in front of the camera, but never behind the mic.
Never behind the mic.
Just keep it close to your mouth. That's the only thing we ask. So I want to start. So we went to high school. We rolled in the same circles.
Yeah.
And you were a varsity athlete. You were a good hockey player.
Oh, thank you, man.
And you never, again, we're going to get to your movies. You've been in a couple of movies. Mm-hmm. You were never in theater. I never got the inclination you wanted to do this. So post-grad, what went into your thought process of not doing, business like a lot of our buddies were doing, instead kind of taking a chance and going and doing this acting thing?
I actually, for Holy Angels, it was a private school.
Yes, it was.
For anyone who doesn't know. But and you had to write an admissions paper. And
Wow.
and so I transferred for my 10th grade.
Yes, you did.
And so I was like, it was in October, so it was like the school year had already started, and I was going to Edina.
That's right. You were a Hornet. Oh my, that's right. I did. Okay, I'm
and it just
who's
didn't
this
suit
kid?
me. It was a big school. I was
Not
like,
you.
I was like 5'5", like 110
You were
pounds.
short.
I was a little guy, and it was just a big school. Like I just didn't. I felt like I needed some change, you know. And I wrote my whole admissions paper that I wanted to like basically quit sports and do theater.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like, and then I got to Holy Angels,
But you didn't.
But I didn't. Exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. And so like I talked to Mr. Sawyer and everything, who was the theater director
Yes.
there, you know,
Cool
and
guy.
really cool guy. He was my English teacher. But yeah, so I fell right back into doing hockey and lacrosse, and like I still loved hockey and lacrosse, but I really wanted to like expand and do something that I thought I really liked, which was theater, and I never did. And then because it was just never the cool thing to do, you know.
I would, and with the boys we were with, you were going to get chirped pretty hard if you
Yeah,
were in theater.
yes.
Like that was not going to fly.
Well,
And-
and athletes and theater people, if that's what you say, like the theater groups and the athletes, they don't connect. There's the
Not
big
really.
wall.
And our school was a little like that's kind of why I left Edina though, because it was a lot. And I don't mean to like.
We can throw Edina under the bus. This is a we don't like Edina.
My
under the
hometown.
bus.
I got mad respect for him, but
yeah, they
but I
Go
think
on.
like the people at Holy Angels, I think would be a lot more accepting of it. But I still
Yes.
fell into just the sports thing, and that was my focus for a while. But then, but anyway, so I promised Mr. Sawyer if I wasn't going to play lacrosse my senior year that I would do the play, that I'd do
Okay.
like the spring play.
So did you do the spring play senior year?
Sure
then?
didn't.
Oh,
Nope. Nope, I
I
didn't.
was like, I don't remember.
Yeah,
this.
no,
I feel like we tackled you about that.
I focused on hockey, and I wanted to try and, I don't know, get like a scholarship somewhere, do
you
something.
wanted a
I wanted to
scholar.
play
You're
after.
a Minnesota
Yeah,
HS player, man.
exactly. I wanted to keep going with that because I loved it, but ended up not working out. So I went to St. Thomas, and then when I got there, I was like, I kind of can do my own thing now. I can kind of find myself a little
Right.
bit, and so I saw a flyer for, or I didn't see it yet. I took because you had to have
An elective.
what was it, an arts elective.
Arts elective, yeah.
So I saw that acting was an elective, and I signed up for it. It was the best class I took, and in all this, like in the 2 years I was there, it was so fun, and we had to like do a performance for our final and everything, and everyone was saying, they're like, wow, that was really good, and I was like, oh, maybe I can do this thing.
Yeah, and you have
After one class, after one class, I was like, I am a
this.
pro.
I am a star.
I got this. Who needs
Where's my
10,000
Tony?
hours? Yeah.
Give me my Tony Award. No, and then I saw a flyer for what was it? The fall play. Sophomore year.
Sophomore year. Sophomore year.
But it was a little production called The Diary of Adam and Eve.
Sure.
I went in, auditioned for it, had no idea what I was doing, and I got the lead role of Adam, and I was like, I'm good at this.
Was there a kissing scene in that little
There sure
theater
was.
play? Oh, Luke, got
sure
it going.
was.
Let's go.
But I was here's the thing though, dude. I was so like afraid and new to it. We switched the kissing scene to an embracive hug.
Oh wow! Like I can't
That
kiss.
is so soft.
Yeah, and like our director left the room, and they were like, "You guys can, get comfortable with each other and all this." And then we kissed a few times, and then like by the end of it, like our director came back and we did the kiss, and she's like, "Maybe we just do a hug."
Then when you
so
see
funny.
that girl, was it awkward after the play, or were you guys cool?
No, she's a sweet girl. I don't know what she's doing now, but she did all the productions.
Shout out, hug girl.
She did all the
Hey, I
productions.
hugged you once. Yeah.
Yeah, but she was talented. But
So then from there, you got an agency out in L.A., right?
well, from
Or what
there,
happened?
my brother owns a film production company.
Okay, so that's the loop. So
yep.
that's kind of what maybe sparked your, wow, this is possible, because you had a connection into this industry.
Well, he owns it in Minneapolis.
Oh, okay.
And he started in college out of his dorm, and now they're doing really well.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. And now they kind of moved into advertising.
Okay.
But he was doing, so I did a couple commercials for him. So he would just hire me on to, instead of having like auditions for actors and things. And then we did a short film, like a film festival. And that was, I think it was a film festival in Wisconsin.
Sure, the
It's a
Scotties. Let's go.
48-hour film festival